I am going to give the floor to Professor Rebecca Bad Mother Friedman.
All right.
Nobody want to hear that.
All right. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here tonight. I am Rebecca Friedman. I work at FIU. I'm a history professor, and I direct the Wolfsonian Public Humanities Lab. First thing I want to say to those who celebrate is Shana Tova and Happy New Year, because it is the Jewish New Year. May this year bring to each of us, whether you celebrate or not, blessings, satisfaction, and peace. And should we be lucky and work hard, equity and justice. This show, which we're about to see, A Call to the Ancestors, in my estimation, is the perfect way to begin the new year. It represents new heights in FIU's collaboration with Little Haiti, with Carl-Philippe Juste, with Iris PhotoCollective, and with the Haitian Cultural Arts Alliance and the Little Haiti Cultural Complex. Eyewitness, IPC Institute for Visual Journalism, which is a project founded by Carl and led by Carl and myself, furthers this relationship, and so many more good things to come for the Wolfsonian Public Humanities Lab, for FIU, for our work with Carl-Philippe Juste, and all that this beautiful community brings. Thank you. Thank you for the collaboration, and thank you, wherever you are, for the trust. Thank you also, first of all, to the Mellon Foundation, to FIU's Extreme Events Institute, Dr. Rich Olson, who couldn't be here tonight, Dr. Marcy Washington, who's going to talk in a minute, wherever she is, and David Dugard for their collaboration and their leadership on this Commons for Justice project. Thank you to the Miami Herald. Thank you to Coral Gables Museum. Thank you to Lincoln Memorial Park. And to Mr. Jesse Wooden, who may or may not be here yet, but will be. Okay? And most of all, thank you to each of you for taking the time to join us tonight for Call to the Ancestors. Marcy Washington, take it away. Where are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon back there. I bring you greetings from South Carolina, Gullah culture, and Young's Island in itself. So, hey, you guys, I'm not a come ya, I'm a been ya, all right? So with that, not only in giving recognition to Dr. Rich Olson, we work with so many communities with this grant, but I also want to give recognition to Mr. Eric Salnos right here by me, and our project manager hiding in the back, David Dugard, as well as so many other people, such as Diane Benitez, Elsa, where's Dr. Schaefer's at? She's somewhere hiding as well. Dr. Patterson is back here because she held my purse, the all and all. But we work with so many people within this grant, but within this grant, I just have a few words that I want to bring up. Rebecca conscripted me, even though I said no many times. But within that, when we think about the Mellon-funded grant, I want you to understand that the Mellon-funded FIU, Race, Risk, and Resilience, Building a Local to Global Commons for Justice project is a university community collaboratory that focuses on transforming discourse into action as a means to address racial and ethnic inequities in pre-event disaster exposures and vulnerabilities, as well as post-event resilient capacity. So when we think about this collaboratory, this university community collaboratory, we work with numerous communities, I need you to recognize, or we recognize, that marginalized, underserved, and underrepresented communities are often disproportionately impacted by disasters and resilience difficulties. Thus, for us to be able to address and understand the problems that are layered upon layered upon layered on top of racial and ethnic injustices, as well as be able to identify, but not just identify, but create new forms of knowledge, this collaboratory has focused on listening. But as the old people say, you just can't listen, but you gotta hear it as well. So we listen and hear from the perspective of the neighborhoods themselves in order to support an enduring, sustainable capacity building that promotes equitable investments and to reduce future threats in our coastal settings in which we are contending with right now, but while simultaneously promoting agency. Yes, I'm a political scientist at heart, international relations person, so agency matters to me. So the reality is, especially as we reflect on why we're here today, visual artists and the liaisons for visual artists have become the bridge in respect to bridging the gap between understanding the past, but also the present, bridging the past and the present experiences, as well as bridging the gap between communities, policymakers, academics, and scientists as a means to spark activism, but also to conserve and protect. When we think about why we're here today. So simply, this collaboratory that we are a part of is uniquely suited to understand that art help envision the challenges posed in coastal communities, and as well as art has become the tool to promote resilience. Art bridges the gap through visual means, and we give respect and homage to that. So on behalf of me, thank you for being here, but more than anything, I appreciate all of the artists, and I appreciate Mr. Carl Juste, and I appreciate Dr. Friedman for going about this project the way you are, and I'm looking forward to a great event and a good night. Yay. Thank you guys. All right, thanks.
Thank you. First of all, for the second time, welcome. And I am going to introduce you to Mr. Warren, who is the new director of the Little Haiti Cultural Complex.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Little Haiti Cultural Complex. Like Mr. Carl said, I've been here for about 3.5 to 4 months. So I'm new to the center, I'm new to Miami, and I love being here. Originally from the Tampa area, I've been involved in the cultural arts, the arts programs my whole life. And so when I saw this opportunity to come here and direct the complex, I could not pass on it, because this is a passion for me. So again, I want to say welcome to the complex, and welcome to this extraordinary exhibition called A Call to the Ancestors. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge all of our ancestors, those known and unknown. Ashe. And as the new Cultural Center Director, I'm not only here to welcome you, but I'm here to extend an invitation to join us in our mission to enhance the complex and uplift the entire community. We believe in the transformative power of the arts and culture in bringing people together to inspire and to drive a positive change. So if you're inspired by what you see here and you share our vision for a thriving cultural hub in the heart of Little Haiti, let's discuss. Let's discuss how we can collaborate and make a difference, not only in the world of art, but in the lives of our neighborhoods and our friends. And once again, thank you for being here and celebrating A Call to the Ancestors with us. Let's continue to explore this remarkable exhibition, and let's envision a brighter future together, hand to hand. Thank you.
You know, I often fashion myself as a Don Quixote, the fool, fighting against windmills, doing things that are impossible. But if you think I've done this alone, I think you'd be highly mistaken. This journey is in the footsteps of many. Some I couldn't even identify. Some of the ancestors, they're on this wall. And what makes me excited is the family that we're given two families. The one you're born with, the one we all have found. So, that being said, I'm gonna relieve myself into Rebecca Friedman, and she is going to give an amazing amazing, I know this because she's read a piece of it, and I've heard it, amazing acknowledgement of all the people who put forth and put aside their personal needs for our collective service. Rebecca.
Thank you. The curator of the PhotoCollective. Welcome everyone again. Welcome to Little Haiti, to the main gallery at the Little Haiti Cultural Complex, and to A Call to the Ancestors. A show curated by Carl-Philippe Juste and funded by FIU's Mellon Foundation's Just Futures Initiative, a common for justice, race, risk, and resilience. This show has special meaning. Its meaning resides in many places, several corners of my own heart. First and foremost, it is what brought me to this place, this space, and this artist, you gotta say I'm talking to you, Carl-Philippe Juste. And here I have but a few words, two really. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It too has allowed me to reflect on my own notions of life and death and what comes next. Also to meditate on the meaning of history, of buried history, living history, and how it is all remembered after we're gone. What times we live in, right? The show has the power of unearthing and bringing into the light long buried histories at the very moment when there are those who would pile on more dirt. That, I believe, is its power. And this beautiful, powerful show would not have been possible without the grit and determination of so many. So I'm going to try and honor each of you here, and apologies ahead of time if I haven't called you out, okay? Thank you, first of all, to the funders. Got to do that, that's always my job, to the Mellon Foundation and to their Just Futures Initiative. Thank you to all my beautiful colleagues at FIU, at the Extreme Events Institute. Just doing first names here, people. Rich, Marcy, David, Carolyn, Eric, Lucy, Elizabeth, and many, many more. Thank you to Valerie, who I think is behind me, for all that you've done for this exhibition. To Enrique at the WPHL. To Tali, right over there, she's our student on this project. Give it in to Tali. She was the one we called at all hours to do last minute stuff. Thank you. Thank you to Whistler, Dallas Fort, Joe Newman for being clutch, as always, at the last minute. Thank you to the Coral Gables Museum and the Miami Herald. Thank you to the Little Haiti Cultural Complex, the Haitian Cultural Arts Alliance, and to Lincoln Memorial Park. Thank you to Mr. Jesse Wooden, I think is behind me here, and each of the former owners, and to the caretakers, including Arthur Kennedy and Jessica Williams, and to all of those who rest there. Okay. And thank you to Iris PhotoCollective and all and each of the artists and writers and historians represented on the wall. So now I'm going to name them for you, first and last, okay?
Sure. Hello? Hello, please.
C.W. Griffin, Alon Skye, Morel Doucette. Hold on, I gotta read it. Isaiah Small, Samuel Tomey, Anna Menendez, Marvin Dunn, Elisa Turner, Joanne Hippolyte, Leonard Pitts, Lionel Milton, and of course, Edward Duval-Perrier. Thank you also to Dr. Nasheed Maidan, Executive Director of the Florida Humanities, who has traveled here to be with us tonight, and who's going to give us a few words in a moment. Thank you to John for his amazing work in installing the show and putting it together. Thank you to Jenny Romney, who's not here, but I must say, in a category all her own. Without her design, aesthetic, and beautiful eye, I have learned that nothing this spectacular happens. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you to each of you for taking the time to join us this Saturday afternoon, and the grandest thank you goes to my collaborator and by now my dear, dear friend, Mr. Carl-Philippe Juste. Each project with you is a gift. Cheers.
If you notice, there's some repeating names. You might have seen in the Miami Herald. You might have read them in the Miami Herald. They might have worked in the Miami Herald. This story came about because of an exploration of an injustice. And when I came to the Herald, I did this project with the Gables Museum, and I came to the Herald said, tell us what you need. And I tell you this because you have to understand the importance of a local paper. Because the local paper is not just local. The work that we do today will forge our tomorrow. So every time you buy a subscription, every time you turn a page, every time you do a click, you're securing the chance that our tomorrow might be a little bit more brighter. Having said that, which I think is really important, because without the Herald, 33 years of my good living would not have been possible. I want to make that clear. It's never been a job, it's been a calling. With that said, let's pass it to another calling.
And that calling is federal and state funding for the humanities. Cheers to that, sir. Come on up. Without the good work of this gentleman, so much of work like this that you see on the walls would not be possible. So here's to you.
Thank you. So my name is Nasheed Manu, and I'm the Executive Director of Florida Humanities. That's the statewide affiliate of the National Endowment for the Humanities. For 50 years, we have identified opportunities to support exhibitions, bridge the gap between civil discourse and arts and culture, interpretation, help organizations small and large find a way to provide signage, bring speakers to rural communities, challenge thought, bring questions that sometimes are sensitive, but provide scholars and everybody in the community an opportunity to have a dialogue that's meaningful, that they can take back to their kitchen table and teach and learn. Sometimes there are topics that are not in the history books. Sometimes there are topics that the teachers are not sharing, but at your kitchen table, you know that you can come to a resource and provide something authentic and objective. We've been doing that for 50 years. We've provided grants from $300 to $50,000 to a tune of about $20 million. And so I know there's a lot of nonprofits represented in this room that look at stories that are underserved, that are not told. And we bridge in an aggregate manner funding from the feds, the state, and private donations, and pull it together and make grants to organizations much like this. And long time we've been supporting FIU and Humanities Lab, and we will continue. And the reason I'm here is to encourage us. We will continue, certainly. And while I'm here, I wanted to make an appeal for you to go to floridahumanities.org, right? Take a look at the activities that are all around the state. And hopefully you're inspired, not just to attend these activities, and hopefully you do in different parts of the state, but hopefully you're inspired to create a story and a narrative of your own, right? I had some remarks, I haven't even opened them up. I would tell you, I'm gonna get off the script a little bit and hand the mic over quickly. And some of you who know will know that I tend to talk, but I'm a recovering museum director.
I did not properly introduce you, so tell them what museum.
Yeah, so Stax Museum of American Soul Music in Memphis, Tennessee. That was the first museum. I was 27 years old and I cut my teeth on that one, and went from there to the Texas State History Museum in Austin, Texas. I'm director of that for quite some time. And Hampton University's museum, the art museum, is remarkable art collection. Challenges you to look at cross-cultural influences and 19th century art, Harlem Renaissance, Chicago Renaissance, great collection. Then I made my way to Florida, FAMU's, Black Archives. That was a remarkable experience. So now I'm in St. Petersburg running this organization, and I say that I'm a recovering art museum or history museum director, because now I'm able to sit on the other side of the table and say, we need to make these grants available to small and medium-sized organizations. There are some organizations where the curator, the director, the janitor is the same person, right? And so we were able to distribute about $3 million worth of federal funds during the pandemic to keep organizations much like this one that depends on turnstiles. People coming through the door, going to the gift shop, but they couldn't because everyone's sitting at home, right? So a lot of organizations needed that $25 or $50 or $15,000. So I was happy to do that with our team, a remarkable team, and happy to support FIU. And also, this exhibit is near and dear to my heart. I walked around it 3-4 times and probably walk around it again, because I'm sure, or there are some of you that are thinking and inspired about cemeteries in your communities, in your rural areas that are overgrown, right? Or there are loved ones, much like the story here with Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery, where someone's trying to do genealogy and to find out where someone's lived and where someone dwelled, where they contribute, but the markers are overgrown, you can't find it, right? But if we find a way to come together and continue to not only preserve and patron and attend activities like this, we can inspire other organizations and other communities to do the same around this state and outside of this region, right? Because we migrate, we've left and come back. So again, I want to share in the welcome. Congratulations on leading this institution. You will be rewarded over and over and over again. And I miss it, but I'm glad that we're here to work with you and help you, and enjoy everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to introduce, I've been working on a story. The first part of the story is caretakers, and when you get a chance, we'll put it on once the panel's over. And then the second part is called Search and Recovery. It's about what hope and love can do. I'd like to introduce Jesse Wooden. Please give him his. He is the current owner of Lincoln Memorial Park. I don't call it a cemetery, it's a park. It's a place you come to sit, to think, and if you're quiet enough and patient, to listen. I'm working on a project that we hope to have in the Herald in February about his struggle to find his mother and all the consequences. I'm not gonna make you cry, brother. And all the consequences and all the tribulations that brings love. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, and young child, I'd like to introduce you to Jesse Wood.
Thank you all. I want to say it's an honor to be here. And as I took on this journey, I just want to give some thanks out to some of those who helped me when I didn't know what I was doing and how to do it. They came out of nowhere. I can't thank Dr. Pinkney enough, Dr. Dunn, Frank Wooden, Antoine, Isel, Al, Junior Artie, and a host of Rebecca, Carl-Philippe. They came along and they asked me how can they help me to make sure that this place gets recognized? I didn't know nothing about the cemetery. It's about 4 years or so ago, I was in South Carolina. I was up there to do a project of building a community center. I had plenty of land up there. And I found out that my mother is from where I was building right down the street. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to know my mother. She passed when I was an infant, so I never got a chance to know her. And really didn't know where she was at. And I found out she was at Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery. So I made the trek down from South Carolina, in which I stayed here and there, to go where she was at, to visit her. And when I went there, to be honest with you, I was taken aback because of the upkeep of the place. And I found out the place was in trouble, and I made them an offer to go ahead and purchase the place just to clean it up because my mother's there. To me, there's nothing like a mother, okay? And that's what I did, and I just embarked on it from what I know, and wasn't much. And I just want to say that I thank all those who came along to give me a hand. I end up finding her, and every day it's a blessing to go out there. And when I go out there, I go and speak to her, and it's like I'm talking to my mother. If you all have mothers, appreciate them, love them, thank them every day, because you don't know what you have until you don't have them. I didn't know what I was going to do with the place. I just was spending money left and right, just trying to clean it up. Until Carl and Rebecca and other people come along and say, hey, why don't we do this and why don't we do this to make it recognized? Dr. Pickney, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Okay. I want to thank Julie Alter. She was there before I was there with the previous owners. She decided to come along and to help me with this journey. And I want to say it has been a great journey for me. And the cemetery is bigger than only thing I knew about the cemetery, that's when you go and you lay down, it's over, okay? I didn't know, but it's much more than that. There's so much history. I didn't know nothing about Dorsey and Gwen Cherry, all these individuals, okay? And I just took on this journey. It has been tough, and it cost me a lot, but it's priceless because of whom I'm there and what we can do. I thank all of you all for just coming out, because you could be doing something else and be here listening about a cemetery. And I'm still learning as I go along. And I just want to say that it's just not me, my staff, Julie, Rebecca, Carl, it's everyone in here. All of us are part. We all are a team. Okay, so I want you to know everyone is in here, you're part of the team. And whatever I can do to continue this mission to make sure that everyone be recognized, I want to do that. Because, I'm going to say this, I have my oldest brother, Frank Wooden, back there. It's something they don't know. Every day of my life, I struggle. What would I be and what would I do if I had my mother? I miss her, I can't say I miss her, just, I wish I would have known her. I wish I would just know what her face looked like. Wish I would know what she feel like to hold me. And, and I feel like the only thing that I can do is to make sure wherever her resting place, that is wonderful and that she's resting comfortable. And that's all I'm trying to do. This is not about me. This is way bigger than me. And I don't want to get emotional, but I just want to say, I thank my son, he's back there, and he never got a chance to meet his grandmother. So I can tell you this here, it's tough, you know what I mean, but it's worth it. It's priceless to know that, what makes me feel better than that, I would have never thought in a million years that God would make me her gatekeeper. I would have never thought that, so I just want to do what's right for the cemetery. It's not about me. And I thank all of y'all for whatever you do, whether it's your prayers, whether it's donation, whether it's just whatever. Believe me, it counts. And I'm still learning as we go. And I'm not a big talker unless with the guys or what have you, and trying to hold back a little bit, okay, because it's emotional for me, okay, and Carl, where's Carl? I want to thank Carl and Becker, please come up, okay, because, they really came and they were sincere. And there was moments that we actually had powwows, okay, really powwows, and they like, I'm not going to do it no more, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it no more, okay, but we end up here, because I just didn't know anyone here and how things work. Because so many people was coming, but they had the wrong agenda, and they wanted to take advantage, okay? Because they knew I didn't know, okay? But they really came along and showed me the right way to do it. And I thank you guys so much. And I thank all of you. I really do from the bottom of my heart, okay? And I just want to say that please continue to support. For a quick second, and then to Dr. Don. Thank you all so much.
So thank you all for this opportunity for us to, or basically let me thank Carl and Rebecca for setting this platform together and everyone on his team for giving us the platform. Vanessa?
Yes, thank her too.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa.
I'm not good with names, but I'm good with numbers. Please, she helped put this together, so please give her a applause.
So this team has been phenomenal in assisting us in our journey. When I started this journey 4 years ago, right before Jesse purchased the cemetery, honestly, I came on as a consultant. And then Jesse purchased it, and I just kept consulting, and the consultant turned into a partnership, and here we are 4 years later. And being here reminds me of the, I guess the devastation I saw when I first got to the cemetery, and trying to understand how could something so precious be the way it is and look the way it did. So having this gala, this exhibition, is crucial in understanding the journey that Lincoln Memorial Park has gone through, right? The past, and honestly, it's taken me back a little bit because it was a lot of work. And then by the time Jesse started, it was more work. And now to see everyone come out and support us and to be able to share the story of the past and to help everyone understand how we got to this journey. Although I didn't know Jesse's mom, but knowing the story and me being a mom, it really touched me. And I just couldn't not support him and help him through the journey of restoring the cemetery. And it was a lot of work. I mean, when we got there, Frank, thank you. He put on that hazmat suit, him and the rest of the family, and they gutted out that cemetery. And it was hours and hours of work.
I want to really give a hand out to these judges, okay? You guys please stand up. I can tell you, to be out there in that cemetery and with weed eaters, when you have to go on the graves the way that they're made, and it's hot out there, and it's not easy. They make sure they do it, and it's not easy, okay? And these guys I can count on, okay? I can count on these guys to make sure that it's cleaned up. You know, we have a few more that weren't able to make it. And I want to just thank the previous, I want to thank Jessica Williams as well, because I can be honest with you, there was some powers to be that wanted to take it from the previous owner and put high rises in there. And that's when I came involved. When I found that out, I can tell you that, oh God, I think I'm getting too personal. But I can tell you that that was one of the reasons for me to purchase it. And when I did, you know, it cost me dearly. It even cost a divorce and everything else. But I can tell you, it was more than worth it to see them, because everybody's out there. It's the reason why we are standing here today, because they paved the way for us. And when I found out about Dr. Pitney, what she did with Linda City, I heard that she was at the Hampton House. I was out there, you know, cleaning the graves, painting, and someone told me she was there with the mayor. You all won't believe I went over there with paint and everything on me. She can tell you. I need to meet you. I need to know something, okay? And this is how it became so personal, okay? So I just want to, you know, follow your dream. And I can't emphasize this enough. Please, if you have mothers and loved ones, just let them know how much you love them. Because if you do, they're precious. There's nothing in the world more important than a mother. If anyone's a mother here, please give yourself a round of applause. Please, a mother, come on, it should be louder than that. Okay, thank you. You guys are just wonderful, okay? There's nothing like a mother. And I just want to say thank you all so much. Dr. Dunn, please.
If they would like it, okay? So now I'm going to introduce. First we have Isaiah Smalls, right here. Who is the culture reporter at the Miami Herald, a native of Michigan by way of Ohio and Delaware. Smalls is a graduate of both Morehouse College and Columbia Journalism School. Thank you, Isaiah. He also has an essay on the wall, which is beautiful, entitled The War Outside, so make sure you read it. We have Dr. Joanne Hippolyte, who was born in Haiti and grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. She is the African Diaspora Curator at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. She has connections to Miami, as her PhD is from the University of Miami, and she spent 8 years as History Miami's chief curator before taking her talents to DC. Thanks for coming back and being with us tonight. We have Leonard Garvey Pitts Jr. How do you like that, no?
Full government.
I went all the way. He is an American commentator, journalist, and novelist. He is a nationally syndicated columnist and winner of the Pulitzer Prize. He spent many years working for the Miami Herald and is a favorite among many of us here, and certainly for myself. We miss him. He recently retired. So thanks for coming all the way down here. We also have Lionel Milton, who has agreed to jump on at the last minute, which we very much appreciate. His art is also, actually Leonard has an essay, I should say that's on the wall right when you walk in. Lionel has this beautiful black and white and red piece on the wall. He's a graffiti artist, street artist, muralist from New Orleans. Badass, amazing artist. So please check him out and check out the piece that's on the wall. Thank you for being here and coming down. I leave him last for a reason, is Professor Emeritus of Psychology at FIU and a well-known historian of Black Miami. His publications include one that I bet, or I hope, we have all read, Black Miami in the 20th Century. Yeah. He is also co-founder of the Miami Center for Racial Justice and has been leading tours of teachers and young people to places like Rosewood, the site of a 1923 massacre of Black residents by a white mob, for years. He is all over the news in all the good ways, an incredibly brave soldier, Dr. Marvin Dunn. Thank you for being here. And thank you to each of you. So here's the question. It's a long-ass question that only like an academic or professor would ask. So stick with me, okay? The question is simple, but I'm going to give it a big preface. The question is, why is the past important? What is its power in the present and for the future? I ask this question in the context of the contemporary impulse toward historical erasure and its violence. I ask this question on Rosh Hashanah, which I mentioned before, the Jewish New Year. Given what we know about centuries of genocide and Holocaust, from the torture of the Middle Passage to the ravage of Rwanda, from Bosnia to Cambodia, from the Jewish Holocaust to the violence of the present-day US against Black lives, why does history matter? What does it mean to bury and unearth history, the past? How do we tell the story? And what is at stake? Especially for people of color. In these narratives, these histories, if these narratives and these histories stay buried, it will be told by the oppressors themselves. What is your entry point into these crucial questions of historical memory, whether in general or in relation to a call to the ancestors? So that none of them have heard that very long-winded question. So
We got one mic, so we're gonna pass it down.
I know, we got one mic, so we're gonna pass down. Let's start with you, sir.
That was a very long question. But I think it's right that I start off because, I'm the youngest person on the panel. But to me, I think it's very important to honor the past, right? Because if you don't honor the past, you have no clue where you're going in the future, right? Because I think the past it's a lesson, right? I think there's lessons to be learned from the past that when you erase that history, you try to cover that history you're losing lessons, right? You guys heard the term like we're losing recipes. That's, that's what happens, when you don't do your proper study of the past, right? So as you guys heard in my introduction, I'm from a lot of places, right? And so when I moved to Miami, for me, the most important thing was to learn that history, or try to learn that history, right? Thankfully, I'm sitting to a guy next to me who has done a lot of work in that area, right? So his research, and also Mr. Pierce's research and writing to really informed my perspective. So, long story short, the past, I think, is everything.
I went to a predominantly black high school a few months ago, and I asked the students in that high school, how many of you know who Arthur McDuffie was? Not a single hand went up. Not even a teacher. When it happened, I thought, we'll never forget this. Miami will never forget what happened. A riot, 18 people dead, $100 million worth of damage. We'll never forget McDuffie. 10 years from now, ask that question about George Floyd. Right now you think we'll never forget George Floyd. Yes, we will. We will. Because if you don't document it, write it down, make it known, it will be forgotten. America rushes away from difficult stories. Lynchings, mob violence, burning down cities. The faster we can get away from those things, the better. And if we don't capture those stories, they will be lost. I spend a lot of time in cemeteries because I believe you can talk to the ancestors. When I take my children to their grandparents' graves and we visit, and I tell them, okay, you'll go get in the car, and I take a folding chair and I sit for a while. And they ask me, Grandpa, what are you doing? So I'm talking to your grandmother. I'm having a conversation. I believe this is possible. I believe we can reach the ancestors. I think that's why we need to save these spaces. I'm still looking for Spelman Kemp out there. He's out there in Lakeland. 14-year-old boy, black boy, 1930s or so, killed by a white police officer for stealing eggs out of a boxcar at the railroad yard. This white officer chases him down, shoots him in the back. And Spelman's he's dying. And the cop stands over and says, why do you run? Do you think I was going to get you? That's the last thing Spelman Kemp heard. He's out there at Lincoln. I'm still looking for him. But the times that I get to go to the cemetery, thank you, Jesse, for making it possible. I sit on these graves and I visit. I've talked to Mr. Dorsey. I've talked to Glenn Cherry. I had a conversation with Mr. Reeves the other day. The spirits are there. They're alive. We just need to make contact and realize that they are there.
I think the past is important because without it, we don't have any context for the present, right? And I'll speak about that from a personal point of view. I'm an immigrant American, Haitian American, born in Haiti and moved to Boston, where I grew up. And I was there during the busing crisis, right? So there were lots of protests against black students, being integrated into white schools, and horrific protests and rocks being thrown at buses in places out of town you couldn't go to. And my parents didn't have the context to tell me what was going on, right? They didn't, being immigrant Americans, right? They needed places like museums and exhibitions like this, right? And books, right? To be able to tell them, what was going on so that they could understand it. And I found that history, right, in my classes, right, when I got to college, right? The past is so powerful, right, so empowering that they're trying to take it away, right? They're trying to hide it and put it underneath where you can't find it. Even if that story aside, right, the past is so important that I needed to understand my own family around me. Like, why do my parents eat plantains? Why do we dance compa? Why is our language? Where did our language come from? It's all there in the past. So everything that we are made of, it's all pieces of the past. And we need to bring it forward with us to help us understand ourselves, right? And to become better citizens, hopefully, as well, right? To improve, not to take us backwards, which is what it seems like.
billion years ago. And you know, we've seen the progress of the wheel from ox carts and wheelchairs and luxury vehicles and whatever else that wheels are used for. But imagine if we had to rediscover or reinvent the wheel every 20 years. If we forgot the wheel, you know? And what kind of progress can we have? What are we driving? You know, what are we rolling people without use of their legs around in if we can't remember if the wheel is not there? That to me is the importance of African American, of history, and of African American history in particular. If you forget this stuff, you've got to relearn it, or you've got to re-experience it. And that's what we are seeing in this country to a frightening degree. Where history is concerned, we are constantly having to reinvent the wheel, constantly having to rediscover and re-experience things that we should not have to experience. It is 2023. The Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965, and we are having to go to take action and fight and demonstrate and litigate to secure voting rights. And let's remember, the Voting Rights Act came almost a century after the 15th Amendment, which was supposed to secure voting rights. You know, so it's like over and over again, we seem to have to relearn these stories. So that to me is, you know, why is the past important? The past is important because it keeps you from having to, no pun intended, spin your wheels. It keeps you from having to do the same damn thing over and over again. Without that, you can't have any progress. If we had never been able to invent the wheel and keep understanding of what the wheel is, we would still be wherever it was we were a million years ago. Okay? And in forgetting our history, you have that same dynamic. You have this dynamic of having to constantly go over the same stuff that we've gone through before. You know, George Floyd was not the first George Floyd. Trayvon Martin was not the first Trayvon Martin. We've been here before. And I get so frustrated at the attempts by a certain chief executive of a certain southern state, and frankly by chief executives of other states, to want to bury this history because it makes people uncomfortable. I'm sorry, most of the most important things I have learned in my life grew out of discomfort. They did not make me comfortable. History is not there to make you comfortable. History is there to keep to show you who you are, where you came from, and to keep you perhaps from making the same damn stupid mistakes that were made 50, 100 years ago. I'm gonna leave. I could preach a sermon. I'm gonna pass the microphone on that.
Hi, my name is Lionel. As you said before, I'm an artist who make the world live, and I'm a Gen Xer, so I come from that generation. So those out there, same memory, shout out to y'all above and past that. So when I think about the past and how it affects me now, I think about what I grew up from, being an artist. And so I think I was given many gifts to be a creator, but two of which was I can express myself artistically, verbally, but also I was born and I'm 50 years old and still get constant night terrors. And what I mean by that, those who get them, I get them, I mean, 30 days in a month, I get them like 15, 20 days a month. And I get intense night terrors. But what I've learned from that is I get to live between both this world and that world together. So we live between life and death. So when you're thinking paralysis, if anybody's ever had it, it's the most terrifying thing where you're alive and you're dead at the same time. So you're able to, in a way, get in touch with your ancestors because you're stuck. You're here, but you're also there because you can't do nothing. Like you're in your mind, your body isn't working. So what I've learned from that is when I'm in this world, I'm very excited. I guess I'm grateful because I'm able to move around and breathe and work and do stuff as we as human beings. But in that world, it's a different set of rules. But what I've learned about the past and the present, about being in a world that you need it all, and I couldn't survive without it. And what it's taught me that in both worlds is to fight, you know? And that's one word I think that what part of our community don't understand is that we don't fight back enough. We fight back in a different way. And so we need to fight that. And what I mean by that is a paradigm shift. Like, we can all look at, like, the youth of my generation, back in the boys' good days, we always know this thing, we could, what did we do? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, except the new paradigm shift. Don't shoot me, use that same energy and shoot them. So, and I don't care who's uncomfortable about it, but when I think about the past, the present, and the possible future, as Black people in the diaspora around the world, we've done, said, preached, tweeted, died about what not to do to us. And even used a thing called common sense, and it seems not to work. So what I draw from the past, from my sleeping habits and my creativity, is don't be afraid to fight back. And the same reason we got here, and the same reason we're kind of still here, just keep in mind. And it's something that we've been taught, but I believe the opposite. Sometimes violence is the answer. And that's what I got to say about it. That's what's up.
It's really amazing how each person in this panel have intersected in my life. Professor Dunn took your classes in '82 and '83 and taught me about Miami from a different gravitational pull. Taught me about Miami from the center of my Blackness. So I never had a chance to. I say thank you. Dr. Hippolyte at the back then South Florida Historical Museum, South Florida, gave me one of my first big shows. And we kindred spirits. Not much needed to be said, but much needed to be shared. Then I go to Mr. Pitts. Arguments about music, talking about reading his columns, waking up to his words, shedding tears of 9/11. My man, it's not much to be said about you. Not much.
Then move on.
But excellence. There's one word, excellence. Now we like the young guys. Refer to the young guns. Isaiah, I'm too cool to be a ride on time. Smalls. Okay? This is a very talented writer. He has, you have the potential, you have the potential of standing next to the greatest commentaries of urban, not only urban, of American life. Wield your gift very carefully, because you are powerful. And we work on that story on Jesse coming up soon for February. And if you haven't had a reason to read the Herald, we're going to give you one. Now I got my boy. We met, and we had a conversation. We had a conversation on the phone. And Angie, yo, I'm going to show you my work. I wasn't ready for it. Because, when people talk about street art, it draws a certain visual aesthetics. He moves me. He doesn't paint. He photographs with a brush. So thank you. I'll be remiss. This show is about 4 cultures. And one culture that we always have to honor, because this museum stands in their space. It's a Native American. The tribes the 100 tribes that inhabit this continent that have been robbed, very so much like my history, stolen, disease put upon, left to rot. But you know what they say, why does a cage bird sing, right? On that note, I'm gonna bring Sammy over here, and we're going to leave on a better note. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. There's no running in paradise. He's also a featured artist. His piece welcomes us into the space. He deserved that space, because without his people, we would not be here. And without their kindness, because trust me, they got enough anger to fill multiple bodies. Without their kindness and sincerity, I don't think I could continue speaking to you. So, please, could you close this wonderful event with a song? Do you like to introduce the music we're about to hear?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Grab the mic?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Who is he?
Sammy, this is Sammy Tony is one of the artists that's featured in the front. Okay, I asked you not to tell you who he is. You should have read the sign on the wall. What do you think I spent all that money for? Okay, I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah. All right, so it's an honor to be here among everyone. I want to say welcome, coming from my elders, my people at home. We are very, very fortunate, and we feel blessed. From so many years of feeling isolated, we feel very blessed that we have people and families and communities who come together to move things forward, to talk about healing, to talk about tomorrow. Not only talk about tomorrow and prepare for it, accept history. No longer hide the history. This is the challenge for the United States of America. To hide the history will do no good. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is healing from within, as a person, as a family, as a home, as a community, as a region, as an area, as a country, as a planet. And I want to say thank you to Carl and everyone here who have put this wonderful event together. And I'm very happy to be here, to be among everyone here, to see that there's such an open-mindedness, and to see that there are communities who are aware and willing to see what we could do next. My history is somewhere buried, and our language has been disrupted, our culture has been disrupted, our identity has been disrupted. Our burial grounds are no longer existing because there are malls, there are high-rises, there's all kinds of new modern buildings sitting on top of Native American burial grounds. This is where we come from, this is where we are, this is where we are, all of us today. And it's healing, sincerity, accountability. This is where the healing will start. Is this country ready? Are all communities ready? I think the Great Spirit is waiting for us, has been waiting for us for a very long time. I would like to share a meditation piece This is a healing song. I travel throughout the country and I go to sacred places. This continent, this country, there are sacred places where you can go and your spirit is there. I've gone to mountainsides. This song comes from a very beautiful mountainside. And this song, I'm going to ask you to pray. Pray for yourself. Pray for your families, your communities. Pray for what is hurting you. The ones you're not sharing with anyone. The ones that you're holding. Pray. So this is a song that came and it was given to me from the spirit world. And I'm sharing this with you. And what's happening on the mountainside, then is going to happen here. The frequencies are happening. That's the Great Spirit. The frequencies are happening all around us. It's happening throughout our solar system and our galaxies. The frequencies are happening. Frequencies are happening within each person here, within everyone's heartbeat, the breath that you're taking. It's all because there's wonderful energy of the Great Spirit that continues. If you will, please meditate, close your eyes.
Jacques Hamlet, Pomavenskia, Shanabustiantis, it took the Pushko to Elatia, Shanabu, Spumatic, the Potatska, and Chihalia Pish. Thank you, our Father of all. Thank you, our Father, our Great Spirit. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for bringing our hearts together. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for leading us and telling us where to go. Thank you for keeping us in your heart as you teach us how to move within ours. Shanabish, Do. Thank you.
My mother used to cough. She used to cough after she spent 16 hours working. She used to cough after cleaning or sewing someone's dress. She used to cough when she would take care of some of her Jewish patients. So you heard me coughing. I'm good with it. I'm not embarrassed. Because she's talking to me. So when I ask every one of y'all, thank you, Mom. I ask you, every one of y'all, there's a phone right over here. There's instructions on the wall. If you need some privacy, gently pull the curtains. Please, as my mother has spoken to me now, please speak to someone that you have lost. Or you have not lost, you just have not called. So the phone's over here. I'll be the first. I'm gonna close the curtains so I may start crying. But I encourage all of y'all to do the same.
Thank you all very much for being here. That's the end of the formal part. So please make a call to your ancestors and welcome to the exhibition. Thank you all so much.